let's kind of go over the history and why we're here. Welcome to a parking lot, everybody. Congrats, you made it. Told you, I take you to weird spots. So this space used to be something relevant to the history of Charleston. We're going to talk about it. So remember, also, I haven't told you guys yet, but I will be withholding information. I love how like Monica is like in it, like she's got her face all in. I love it.
I love it.
So no, I'm going to be withholding information on purpose. The reason why is I want you guys to actually have a genuine experience and not be searching for those answers. So you're going to be telling me all of the silly things that you guys hear in your spirit boxes, and of course, you and I are going to talk a lot about your words, Whitney. So we'll talk about those as I kind of do my round robins. So basically, once I give you the history, I will tell you all to spread out. We'll stay away from the two vehicles. Again, super fortunate we only have 2 cars on a Friday night, and I'm going to do like 1 or 2 round robins with everybody, see what's going on. I'll take a few notes. I'll bring us back here and give us all the answers. I will not be giving you questions here like what color was George Washington's white horse, just so you guys have that idea, which is like fair. Now, where are we? This place used to be the Eliza and Charles Pinckney Mansion. Their mansion used to sit in the front of this space, facing East Bay Street. Eliza's garden was lined up with 5 Church Restaurant, came all the way across. We are standing in the servant and slave quarters for the home. So that's the layout of the land. Who the hell were these people? Charles and Eliza had a son named Charles. They had a nephew named Charles. That's 3 Chucks. That's why we look for secondary clues, everybody. I need to know which Charles is coming through so I know how to address them. So, the son and the nephew were signers of the Constitution for South Carolina. Big deal for us. I hate politics more than all of you combined, including Colt. So, we're going to basically just give them the recognition and move on. If I don't give them that recognition, they do it for me in a nasty manner from a spirit box. So, we're just going to recognize them and talk about Eliza instead. She marries Charles at a young age according to today's standards. I say it like that because if you were going to ask her how old she was when she married, do not expect numbers from like the colonial days when young ladies got married like 12 and 14. Think of today's standards, because the husband was over double her age when they married. It was creepy then, it's creepy now. So I don't think there's any couples in the group that are in between that age gap. So I'm fair and safe tonight. I don't put my foot in my mouth. But anyway, she married him because her father was over in England, where she's from, and he thinks he's dying. He's trying to bring all of his children home one last time. So you can see him. Eliza didn't believe he was dying. She stayed put right here, got married. It's 1744. You don't get married in that particular year to get a green card. We're not a country yet. So, she didn't marry him out of love. This is a true love story. There is nothing horrific about this location. If anything, it is a respected space. So just kind of keep that in mind when we're out and about, like investigating it. Now, she was correct. Dad did not die right away, and instead he starts sending her gifts from England to where you're standing. One of those gifts happens to be the plant seeds of indigo. That's a plant that makes blue dye that makes your blue jeans blue. That's how we use it today. However, when Eliza got her seeds, no idea what to do with this stuff. She actually had to learn from her servants and slaves how to keep it going. They already knew because they brought that culture over from the Gullah culture. So she learned from them, learned how to make the dye, and by the way, it's not always hot here. So in case you're not from South Carolina, it's not always this temperature. This is actually a little humid, but it's not bad yet. There are some nights, by the way, I'm out here at like 100-degree weather. Like it gets bad. But anyway, back to Eliza. Once she learned how to make the dye, she moved into a cash crop, got a hold of Dad overseas, told him that the rice plantations were going downhill, that they were going to make a killing with the indigo because it's very expensive, and she was correct. And we now have an international businesswoman during colonial times. So, something absolutely unheard of. Now, that's the boring business stuff of Eliza, because I've already seen a few yawns. Let's get into the weird shit, because that's why you guys are here. So, what's going to happen is I'm going to give all of this communication devices a series of focus questions. You can say them out loud, or you can just focus on them. No right or wrong way to do this. We'll start with yours. So the mansion's not here anymore unless you can see it and I can't. Now, you're going to be asking what happened to it. If you get the what, we often get 2 or 3 numbers of the when. So that's the exact date of when that actually occurred. So keep in mind, by the way, communication devices, if somebody's asking a question, those answers can go anywhere. Even if there were just 2 of you here, we would at least have 2 communication devices so that way our spirit can bounce off of each one that they want to use. So Zoe and Susan, you 2 are going to have the same set of questions because you're using the same spirit box. You're going to be focused on Eliza's death. So she's pretty open, as long as you're respectable. How old she was when she died, what she died from, where she's buried, which president was a pallbearer at her funeral. So, I hate to ask like this, but I know you're 18. Do you know what a pallbearer is? Okay, just want to make sure, because sometimes teenagers have no idea because they've never been to a funeral before. So again, I always like to make sure so that way you're not like, yeah, give me a question, I don't know how to ask it. So those are the 4 majors. In the event that you guys go rogue with your questions, by the way, just be respectful, no yes, no answers. You guys got the point on this. So the Ouija board, which is Mark and Whitney, your devices are going to hopefully work in tandem as well. So Mark, you're going to be looking for Eliza's full initials of ELP in that order, no anagram scramble of that. Hopefully we get it, and of course any words being spelled out. The L is her maiden name. You're gonna figure out what that maiden name is because the Eliza I just told you about is the second wife named Eliza from Charles back to back. The first wife, Eliza, also had a maiden name that started with the letter L. So hopefully you get which Eliza we're dealing with. You get both Eliza's full set of initials, which is ELP. I think that covers all of the communication devices. So Paul, have we had any numbers yet?
Yeah, it is hard to believe.
How high did you go?
There's 3.1.
Okay, anything
7.7.
3177. So I'll explain what these numbers are before we leave the space.
4.
So you're going to escalate it. So I'll take the 4, but you gave me a 7.7. 7.7 is your new base. So keep it growing.
My camera's
up, so that way I have a
frozen.
whole notebook full of numbers. You know what I mean? Like toggling back and forth. And we're back on. Ta-da.
Thank you.
9.3. Perfect. That's your new base. Keep it growing. All right. Anybody hear anything or see anything before I spread you guys out? All right. Get to work. You guys know what to do. Mark, you're going to stick with me for just a moment.
We're on site with Tricia Atchison.
What happened to your mansion? Tell me what happened to your mansion? What happened to the mansion on this property? What happened to the mansion that was here?
Got anything? I thought I saw something over there, but it may have just been her.
What happened to the mansion that was on this property?
Oh. Oh, that looks like a person. But it's not. It's not. It's not.
No, it's the fountain.
You don't have arms.
What happened to the mansion on this property? What happened to the mansion? What happened to the mansion on this property?
Why are you beeping? Oh.
What happened to the mansion on this property? What happened to your mansion?
Where do you want to go? Let's go over in that corner.
I like it. What happened to your mansion? What happened to the mansion on this property?
You guys taking selfies over here? You know I'm gonna photobomb you.
Oh.
Oh, it was too late.
Too late.
Have we heard anything?
No.
Radio.
That's it. That's what I want you to hear. So if you
But
hear,
I mean,
We
like,
can't make
nothing
anything out,
distinct.
yeah.
So no words
No,
coming out.
nothing
of that.
discernible.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So again, you might not hear anything. First couple locations.
Yeah.
Now, just so you know, in between locations is like prime time. I would usually tell you to definitely listen in between spaces, just because a lot of times when I'm talking, again, I ask you to mute it because my ear is trained to listen to that. I will lose track of the rest of the group. So again, I'm listening right now, even though you and I are talking. But that's usually the prime time to listen in between, and it's usually if you hear something, I'm like, were you closest to the last space or the space where we are now? So that way, I kind of know like where does it tie in.
Okay.
So names and numbers. I'm usually looking for facts. Names and numbers usually don't lie. So keep that in mind. Now, I normally tell you guys too, like you can go ahead and feel free to change the devices among who you came with, but these are both like you guys can both watch the video and listen at the same time. So that's the fun part about like why I give this combo all the time, even though all cameras do record. Oh, that's totally unsafe. Did I say that out loud? I sure as hell did. Sorry, I talked with my hands. But have you seen anything come out of there crazy yet?
No.
Okay, just so you also know, besides leaves, your shadow will come up. It's an absence of light. So it makes it look like it's not you on the ground or a person on the ground. It's actually you. It's your shadow that's being reflected.
Got
So
it.
just kind of keep that in mind as well. Again, I love when we have that full interaction. When like, hey, can you raise your right hand? Can you move to the left? You know, just remember they're going to be moving to their left.
Okay.
Okay, so it might go in the opposite direction because it is their left.
Yeah.
But yeah, have fun with this part of it. Again, even though it doesn't give as much as that's why I'm giving Zoe and Susan a few minutes because I know like they're really learning how to listen to it. What you guys will capture out of this, it's pretty accurate. So questions, comments, concern. Whose idea was this? By the way? Can I ask you to do that, Henry?
We both like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I always like to know like who's the drag along.
Neither of us.
Okay, good. And what's the relationship here?
Besties.
Awesome. So I always do that because I never like to assume anything. I always ask. So that's why I asked, the family. Are you guys like mom, dad, and kids? Are you like, grandparents and kids? I have no idea. Maybe an uncle and nephews. And, you know what I mean? I never know. Wow, you guys are super quiet.
We're very serious people.
That's awesome. But there's smiles, so that helps out a lot. All right, let me go follow up with the other spirit boxes. Let me see what we got going.
Let me know whenever you want to switch, T.
Okay.
There's not much going on over here.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
That is okay.
The night is young.
You also have to take into account like I'm here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if that picture. Grish is checking. Kind of. We can do it
Yeah,
better.
we can. Yeah, we can get another one though.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's cool looking.
Ghost hunting. No, we both like this. No drag-alongs. Not a person. What am I saying? That's not even trees. Is that maybe it's the stick.
Can you move your right arm?
Oh. Can
If
you
some-
move your right arm?
It looks too large.
No. No, let's just be the stick. Can you move your body? Not 3 and I don't like that though. Why do you have 2 arms? Maybe you're just a tree. Nothing.
What happened to your mansion?
Nothing.
What happened to the mansion that was on this property? What happened to the mansion that was on this property?
By the way. By the way.
From something. What happened to the mansion on this property? Weird. Did you hear that?
Mm-hmm.
What happened to the mansion on this property? What happened to the mansion on this property?
Got some. Stay over here.
What happened to the mansion on this property?
By the way, weird.
What happened to the mansion on this property? What happened to your garden? What happened to your garden? Literally.
I got several words, but visual advertising was like so
So, by the way,
By the way, weird. Exciting. Exciting.
hear the story and see if anything makes sense.
I know. And I'm like, by the way, they used to say by the wayside, like so maybe something happening by the wayside, maybe something, but I don't know. But I don't wanna make it anything.
Like a fire started.
Yeah, by the way. You know I'm gonna look it up when you.
I think he's gonna tell us.
Oh,
He just
okay.
doesn't want us to
For the preconceived notions,
Yeah.
okay.
What you two have.
By the way, weird.
The
By-
word weird showed up on Whitney's word list as well.
Okay.
We
We
got
had
weird.
a by the way, and then a little bit later, weird.
I always take note of when it comes out of this specific spirit box because this is how I learn. I've been using this thing for years, but even the notes, I can always go back and look, like, was that counted as evidence? Did it fall in line with something else? By the way, is very conversational. Obviously, no evidence, but I do like the fact that you heard weird, and she has it on her word list. So, what's weird? Like, what's the difference tonight? So, very interesting piece. But I'm about ready to wrap it up. I'm going to follow up with Zoe real quick, and I'm probably going to yank us all to the back.
Okay.
Kind of show you guys how this works.
She got weird too. Maybe something weird happened. Maybe she doesn't really know what happened.
Maybe she thinks we're weird for doing this.
I would probably think the same. I don't judge her for that. I'd be
Oh,
like,
no.
what are y'all doing?
Yeah, you're alive. Go live. Don't
Go
worry about the
live.
dead.
Like, the house is literally not even there. Like, you're in a parking lot.
Yeah.
Go get some business.
No, I wouldn't blame her for judging. But
She's judging.
by the way, you're weird.
Yeah, by the way, this is weird. When y'all come by every night,
Yeah,
that's
weird.
weird. It's weird. Maybe she's buried here. That's why he asked. Well, no, someone that prominent would have a headstone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, one of her fathers was
The
a former
president,
president,
yeah.
So.
No.
Start back where we started. And cameras, give your hands a break, hit that stop button.
I heard courtyard, where are we going? We can't wait to see you and driven by spirit.
Wow.
Mm-mm.
Oh yeah, and while we were on there talking, I heard Eliza, 1802, and Cole's name. I've heard his name 3 times.
Yeah, you've been on Alright, hang on, I gotta get all that. Did you guys hear anything? Alright, let's get you on mute while we're in here. Susan, you're next.
I had 70s, 80s, 63, Charleston, Groove, and Birthday.
Monica, honestly, the easiest way to do yours is because I said get one way or the other with the alley. Take it by the top handle, hit the record button, hold it at your side, so that way you can just get. Then you have your back towards me. You're still hired, don't worry. Basically, in the other hand, so that way you can actually get.
Oh.
There you go. No, down the alley.
Down the alley. Oh.
Yeah, just hold it regular. Just hold it like you're just standing there. There you go. So, Jeff, in any event other tours come down here, obviously just lower your camera. That's what you want. You want things going one way or the other. So this place used to be called Dueler's Alley. This is where some of the duels used to occur for the city of Charleston. By the way, it gets really warm down here this time of year, so I'm going to breeze through this as quickly as I can because I can already feel the sweat going down my back. Not to be gross with y'all, but you guys get it. Now, every tour comes down here, so this was the space I was actually going to take out to this year because, again, I do change this every year, take out one, add a new one, but this ghost actually follows me around, hence the bleed over to the next location. He'll also follow us to the last location because the house he lived in is right around the corner. again, raised emotion. But anyway, we all tell the same story of the same ghost, but you'll see why I actually hate this story. It's a big old cliche. Here's how it goes. A doctor moves here from Rhode Island. His name is Dr. Joseph Brown Ladd. I'm going to stop already. So the reason I have Mark's device is because I wanted the letters RI because we were getting it all the time from a regular spirit box. So you're looking for the letters RI. Secondly, those of you with red spirit boxes that are still listening, because I can tell she's working away over there, she's typing up, unless she's texting her besties. Any that you hear the song Brown Eyed Girl, it's not coincidence. We get it here all the time because it's part of the doctor's name. Yeah, but still, I'd be more interested in the word brown. So, you guys got the point. Anyway, he moves down here because he's supposed to get married to his fiancée, Amanda. Amanda just inherited a bunch of money from her dead parents. She has an attorney helping her out with all of the cash, and the attorney thinks that Dr. Ladd is just after her cash. So he tells Amanda to get rid of the doctor. On his way, he's moving down here to prove that he's not, by the way, and on his way into town, he had a coachman that set him up to be robbed and killed. It's like having a really bad Uber driver today for the younger people in the group. Sorry guys. But anyway, so somebody was walking by and seeing what was about to happen because he knew the coachman. The somebody walking by, his name was Ralph Isaacs. Do those initials sound familiar to you, Mark?
Yeah, all right.
R.I., just like Rhode Island. That's why I wanted to make sure I actually had the letters.
I just got all right.
I was just about to say, we usually get RI whenever I bring up Ralph's initials. That's the way I know who the RI belongs to. Rhode Island with the doc or Ralph himself. Very, very cool. This is me excited, super excited, by the way. I'm going to point that one out. So again, proving my point again, that makes like number 7 in the past year. So again, that doesn't always happen. Back to Ralph. He tells the doc, guy, I know this guy. He's going to try to kill you. Come with me to 59 Church Street. I got some friends there. They'll rent your room. You'll be safe. Doc took him up on the offer. The two gentlemen became friends. The longer the doctor stays here, the more money he's making. He's proving his point that he's not after Amanda's money. He's making his own. She gets wind of this. She's moving down so they could be married. Dr. Ladd then became known as the Whistling Doctor. Reason why I hate this story. I'm not done yet, by the way. Every haunted city you're ever going to visit has a cliched whistling ghost. We all have one. Ours just happens to be a doctor. So, moving on. Let's talk about why we're in Dueler's Alley. So, Dr. Ladd and Ralph go see plays together. They can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. By the way, Jeff, your camera's upside down, so stop your video and flip it over. It's okay. I'll just have to flip it for you. Not a big deal. There you go. You got it now? So they go see plays together, but they can't sit next to each other because the doctor makes more money. That's the hierarchy of Charleston. He gets better seats. So, on the way home from seeing Richard III one night, they're arguing over the new actress that they just saw. They couldn't do it while they were actually at the play because they're not sitting next to each other. Dr. Ladd thought the new actress was great. Ralph did not. The argument turns into Ralph insulting the doctor's fiancée, Amanda, back home in Rhode Island. It got really ugly. They went their separate ways. I told you Ralph has friends around town. He went to the newspaper and placed an ad in the paper telling the whole city of Charleston what he thought of the doctor. Kind of a, you're a disgrace to society kind of stuff. Doc saw the ad and rebutted with, let's go to Dueler's Alley. We're going to settle this shit and somebody's going to die. So keep in mind that this argument started over an actress. So kind of dumb and stupid, especially in the 1700s. Now, the two gentlemen came down here, back to back. They took their 10 paces away from each other. They turned. Doc pointed his gun in the air. He shot. He did not want to kill his friend. We're going to let this small group pass through us before I continue.
Yes. Yes.
How you doing, guys?
Yes.
So, Ralph still has his one bullet. He puts it in the kneecap on the doctor. The doc doesn't die. He just fell to the ground. And Ralph proved his point. He's not willing to forgive. Ralph's friends, or Doc's friends, picked him up and took him home to 59 Church Street, where he died 10 days later on November 2nd of 1786. Good evening, ladies. Come on through.
Hi.
And Jen. Did not see you back there. Now, Doc also refused medical treatment during those 10 days that he was actually back home with his, obviously, gunshot wound in his kneecap. Why did he refuse medical treatment? It's 1786. Gunshot wounds are a lot different back then than what we know of them now. Secondly, he's a doctor. He probably just thought he had lead poisoning and tried to bleed it out himself, but obviously he failed. Now, every ghost tour that comes down here tells their guests to listen for the whistles. We have 2 cameras running plus my voice recorder. If we're going to capture a disembodied whistle, more than likely it's going to come up on one of those 3 devices. Also, spirit boxes, the 2 red ones, especially the one that's recording. I can't tell you how many times we've had the whistling part of a song and the word doctor come up like immediately after. So again, that thing switches radio stations very quickly. So again, it happens dozens upon dozens of times. I don't look for it. You guys are going to see, even when I go through the spot check, that it shows up on minute 1, minute 5, minute 10, minute 15. I have a routine that goes with this, so that way I'm not cheating. You You guys got the point. So if it shows up on minute, we'll just say 55, obviously you know that I wasn't looking for it. It just so happened to occur that way. Now, if you're going to try this on your own, with your own phones on your voice recorders, and you walk all the way through the alley, I can't take you all the way through because I've actually been kicked out of here. We're going to talk about that. That's the fun part of the story. Now, just remember, every local knows the story. Anybody walking up and down Cumberland or Queen Street, we all throw a whistle down this alley. It's just something we do here. So I do it since I've been thrown out of here. Let's talk about it. That's fun. Now, the alley didn't always go all the way through the way we came in. There used to be a wall up there. The reason why is because this used to be called Cow Alley before it was Dueler's Alley. This is where they kept the livestock for the city of Charleston. So cows, chickens, and goats were down here. Why am I telling you this? That means that the bricks down on the other side are older than the ones we're standing on. Those are sun-dried bricks from slave children. There's a full handprint from a slave child down there in one of those bricks, and fingerprint swipes in others. I used to take my groups all the way through because we all need to see how far we've come from slavery, right? So no matter the diversity of my groups, I used to take them down for a history lesson because there's nothing paranormal about it. I've already told you how I feel about cemeteries. The kid's not there. That's the last place you're going to find them. It's a matter of we need to see it. November 26th of 2020, my entire group is huddled around that brick, waiting for something to happen with the devices I gave them. I know nothing's going to happen because he's not there. Secondly, we're standing outside the dining room window of the beautiful mansion at the end of the alley. I'm trying to be respectful, not realizing I was out of bounds for tours. We're still new at this. So the new owner of that mansion came out screaming. My daughter thought it was hysterical. She was on tour that night. She's probably 14 years old, and her father's getting yelled at. She thought it was great. Anyway, we moved on. The next day was Thanksgiving. I don't tour on Thanksgiving because before I started doing this, I actually used to work in upper management for Walmart. You guys like to fight over towels on Thanksgiving and have scarred me for life. I will never work another Thanksgiving in my life. So, moving on. The next day was the 28th. I called my partner that brought me into tourism. I was partnering with him for business, and I told him what happened, trying to figure out what to do next. He laughed at me just like my daughter did. He said, dude, you're only allowed to go down halfway. Other than that, it's residential. Reroute your group. It's Black Friday, guys. I'm sold out again. So I told my group, I don't believe in the next story. I'm into vampires, not into pirates. Obviously, we're discussing pirates next. And we're going to see what happens because I've never had anything happen with my gear. Before we left, somebody with a spirit box heard the name Anne. I didn't tell them which pirate we were going to be investigating. The female pirate, Anne Bonny. I was like, oh crap, maybe we're going to get something. We go up and around the corner. I told them what I knew about piracy, which wasn't much. Quick data research. Somebody else with a spirit box heard the number 300. No idea what that means. I wrote it down. The research showed we were there November 28th of 2020. Anne Bonny's trial for piracy was November 28th of 1720. We were there on the exact 300-year anniversary of her pirate trial. That's normally the reaction that I get. However, I was actually quite pissed off. Let me explain. I have a master's degree in creative writing. Whenever I'm researching anything, especially this, I need facts and data. Pirate stories come from pirate lore. Pirate lore was written 100 years after the golden age of piracy. That's a big deal. That means I have to read more books whenever you guys find or hear something. I've read more books on pirates than I ever wanted to in my entire life. I've watched more documentaries, played more video games. Anything dealing with pirates, I've done it. So I'm always looking for verification. You guys got the point. It is a great story over there. However, it is also a 50-50 roll of the dice if Anne Bonny will be there at the same time we are. I'll explain that once we get there. That's why I always hope for the bleed over from Dr. Ladd. Now, before we leave the space, I always stop at the gate for a reason. I told you I was going to breeze through this, so I'm trying to get through it because I'm still sweating. Some of you, I can see like the glistening on your faces. So, the gate. In the event there was a loser to the duel, remember that there's a wall up here from Cow Alley. This was the shortcut to get to the cemetery on the other side of this wall. Otherwise, they'd have to walk all the way down to Queen Street, you can see how long it is, and then double back to get to the cemetery on the other side of this wall. So I call this the death gate. The wrought iron that you see was probably put here in the early 1900s, but you could definitely see that the archway is definitely part of the original wall. So I like to just point that out because not all tours know why the thing's actually there. I still can't even find what website I actually found that piece of information from. My daughter laughs at me because I always call it a nugget of information. She just thinks my dadisms are hysterical. Anyway, she's 18 and about to move to Georgia. We can let that happen, right? Any other major questions about duels? Anything weird that we heard? Because you were taking some mad notes over there.
I've heard all of them.
Read them off. I'll cherry pick from you. I didn't bring my glasses either.
Place I'd rather be.
Okay.
I heard my name again. Green Brother. Hello, Randall. This is restricted. I'm turning my head. Get away from the library. It's a bad habit. 96. GMC. 69. Roy. You're right in front of me. And then I heard like laughing. And then the number 4.
That is awesome.
I like turning my head because it kind of describes part of the dueling process. It's a vague stretch, but I do like that. And the word library, just because Dr. Ladd actually wrote poetry when he was here in Charleston. I don't always reveal that until we start having things about that. But his sister actually published it after his death. So it is a published book. So it's a very interesting piece. What do we have on the word list there?
Review, auto, jump, wars, successful, instruction, average, friendship.
Okay. I know you were on mute. Anything coming out of yours? I know you were focused on me.
Yeah, I was trying to listen to you, so I couldn't pick up a lot.
And what's great about yours is that we're recording it. So even if you had it all the way down, it's still going to record it evenly.
Okay.
So you're not missing out anything else. All right, we're definitely going to get you unmuted along the way. Cameras, if you want to continue rolling into the next location, you can. Otherwise, give your hands a break, and we'll go over and talk about crazy pirates. You guys ready for this?
Where do you see most of your? I mean,
Yeah, so it's usually flat zeros in here, which is kind of an anomaly by itself, considering the Earth has a magnetic field that is measuring as well. That goes normally up to 1.1. So that's why it's weird that we actually even get zeros here, but that is a common thing that we get. So Trisha, did you hear anything? I know we were kind of chatting. Sorry, I was distracting you from it. All right. It's much cooler over here than the alleyway, correct? Yeah. Definitely for sure. Kind of refix. We definitely want to get you unmuted and kind of see where things go. This wall, Monica, is not your friend. It's going to look like all army men going all the way across because all the leaves are in front of each other. So you guys got the point on that. And Cole, you already know the back half is your best friend. I need to write down 3.9. Whitney, where are we at with our words?
I got final, cup, Brielle. The name Brielle. Sad, crime, surprised.
Yeah, a whole lot of nothing. It's all vague stuff. Again, have I screwed up anybody's name yet? Did I get you all down? Usually I'm pretty good by the pinky names. So I think yeah, good. All right, everybody scram, except for Zoe. I'm going to keep her with me because I want to see that list.
I need you to go from 92
hey, what color was your hair? What was your father's name? What was your mother's name? What was the ship's name? What color was your hair? What was the ship's name? What was your father's name? What was your mother's name? What was the ship's name? What color was your hair? What was the ship's name? What was your father's name? What was your mother's name? What was the ship's name? What was the ship's name? What color was your hair? What was your father's name?
What do we got? Nothing. Damn.
Let's get you some more volume.
Okay, asked about ship, mother, father, and hair color. Is that right? Other questions?
Yeah. Well,
Okay.
parents. Mom too.
Yeah.
Don't forget about mom. There you go. Should get a little bit more static out of it.
What was your mother's name?
Clear, no.
What was your father's name? What color was your hair? What was the ship's name? What color was your hair?
Times. Nancy. Oh. What if her name's Nancy? So what if her name's Nancy?
It sounded like financing to me, but
I know, but what if that's the
Nancy.
closest thing she
Yeah.
could get? But Nancy.
smell it again?
Like rain?
It's like almost like a sickening sweet smell.
No, I don't smell that.
is the ship's name?
Times. Say Harvey? I don't know.
What color was your hair?
Okay, so
Times.
financing.
Or financing or something like that. And maybe Harvey? Maybe. Like it kind of sounded like that, but it was too fuzzy really to be distinct.
Yeah.
What color is your hair?
Right there's. Beak.
For today?
Times for today. Financing. Harvey. Times.
Financing or Nancy or something. Harvey.
So financing?
Yes. And Harvey was really mangled, so I don't
Okay.
know if that's what it
Nothing on the cam that you saw?
No.
See why cams aren't always a real-time catch? I usually, when I'm doing an investigation, I just set up the cams and let them do their thing, and I just watch them later.
Yeah.
So without here, you guys can capture things in real time. That's the fun part, if in the event that they occur, or at least it allows you to investigate.
Yeah.
And it also helps with spirit boxes that don't record.
Whoa.
Wedding.
Wedding.
I love you. Wedding and I love you. What was the name of the ship?
Hey. Oh, that is a person.
Memorize?
Mm-hmm.
We got some more.
What'd you get?
Wedding, I love you, and memorize.
It's weird because she had the name John Lamb show up, and still John was one of the lovers. He was never a husband, which would have been Calico Jack's real name. But the name Lamb sticks out because Charles Pinckney's first wife, Eliza Lamb, they already crossed the street. So we didn't hear from Charles, which is weird. Normally if we hear from Charles, because every once in a while he'll just come over and say hello, but he'll also like give us his name and then something about his second wife, not the first one. So that's why I'm kind of like torn, like what the hell's going on with Chuck tonight?
Yeah.
Like, so it's kind of a weird situation. But yeah, I mean, you heard the name. Did you have a name, John, too?
No, I
No,
heard
you
like,
said wedding.
yeah, wedding, I love you, and memorize.
Interesting. Yeah, it's still pretty light here. So I'm going to yank us all towards the wall. And that way you guys can tell me the rest if anybody else has anything. But I think this one is usually like, you know it right away. So everything is like wrapped around love and this, that, and the other. And it's usually not her style. Like we'll get a lot of like lover kind of stuff and a little bit of raunchy sex stuff, you know, from her. I know that sounds weird, but we've had some stuff come through. Like all right, and
Yeah.
way to get down and dirty with it.
Is this what you write about too? You like ghosts and stuff, or what do you write about?
So like as far as my fiction work is about the afterlife. So
Okay.
like different versions of it. My nonfiction work is actually workbooks, and I'm working on the first almanac of paranormal activity. So because I do have that scoring system,
Amazing.
I'm able to, because I do gauge all of the moon, weather, K-index, all of that stuff for your investigation. So I have like all of that data. So I have a team of writers right now working on some articles for the almanac. And of course I'm organizing the data so that way other paranormal investigators can look at it and say, oh, a waning crescent moon on this particular month was actually more active than the full moon, or so forth and so on. And that way they can look to see like what the scores were. But my workbook is actually about the scoring system, so that way other teams can learn how to use my system. So that is, I'm a big believer, non-believer in the most haunted anything, just because you have no proof to be able to verify that. The scoring system would say this is the most haunted because numerous times we've had it well above average as far as, and it's based off of the time spent doing the investigation too. So that is actually starting to take off. So
Where can we get that?
Amazon or my website. I do a lot of promos with that on TikTok right now. So normally when I go live, like after my investigations are over, as I'm uploading your guys' data, I'm usually live. So that way, like people can ask me questions. They can just talk about like we used the SB11 tonight. We had this come out of it. It was super cool. By the way, I would score this like this in my workbook. If you don't have it, then you should go check out the TikTok shop. It's also available there. But again, I mean,
Do you prefer us to buy one or another?
I
write too, so I have a book
actually
on
all
Amazon.
of my books are in my office. So if you want to come back to my office to see all of my work, you're more than welcome to.
Okay.
So you guys can just follow me back to the office. It's like 5 minutes from the end.
Have you ever seen someone that like repels spirits? Like
I see that almost during every investigation. So if I get a skeptic,
I'm a skeptic.
oh,
Like this bullshit. If you didn't offer, like you don't go out. Yeah, no, we can say nothing. Like I've had my whole life. They won't touch it. I can't have an experience, and I believe it. I just
you'd be surprised what I find when I get back to the office and go through it.
that makes me feel better.
So even though they might not be coming through a whole lot here, you're going to be surprised by what I find in Susan's report. That's my expertise. Now if I find something in the cameras, especially the one that she's using, that may be an issue that you're going to have to repel it. It's normally like I have some super non-believer. They won't tell me all night long. Kind of have that vibe. Yeah. And at the end of the night when I tell my guests like this was a light night, and I get back to the office and I like take out who was on the tour and just focus on the data, and it's still a light night, I know we definitely had a true skeptic.
Yeah.
So again, it happens 2-3 times a week. I
Okay.
hate to say it like that, but
Yeah.
just the way it happens. That's
I was
why
like-
that's why my ticket prices are the way they are. Because again, I try to keep all of the true believers coming back. Because the skeptic's not going to want to pay what you guys paid for tickets to come heckle the guy for 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
So that's what was happening when tickets were only $20.
Well, if it's a light night, I'm a true believer. I don't know why. Like, keep trying.
Right now, it's busy enough readings are actually doing really well. We're kind of holding things afloat. So we're just missing things from the spirit boxes and cameras in real time.
Yeah.
So when I start to see, because the numbers are going to show up no matter what, right? He's not looking for anything besides for it to change. But a spirit box is a whole different ballgame because you guys are learning how to listen to this thing.
Yeah.
You've never done it before.
Yeah.
I'm guessing. Most
No.
people haven't. So I'm training your ear on doing something you've never done with it before. However, my ear does it every day. So when I get Susan's recording, you're going to be like, oh my God, he found all that shit? Yeah. I usually find something within that minute almost every single time of 1, 5, 10, 15 until the whole recording's done and over with. So it's an interesting piece. I'm actually going to be, how do I do this? So you guys are going to have to fight over this because I'm kind of on the fence of how I'm going to choose one of you to be a participant in the next experiment. Because our last location is an experiment. So I usually pick one person from every party, and because you guys don't have the listening with headphones spirit box, one of you is going to be doing something completely different, but part of the experiment. So you might want to actually, it's up to you.
I was like, I was gonna say rather you because I don't want me to be repelling anything.
But you're not a repellent.
You're not a repellent, let's prove it.
Okay. Okay.
Okay, let's gather
I'm
everybody
for
up. All right, guys, let's head towards this wall over here. You guys can tell me whenever else you guys are done. Back on up.
It was just going to music and I couldn't get words.
Oh yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Very casual.
You might have caught something while I was down here. You know?
All right, so where's Zoe? Because I know she's got a shit ton for me.
Oh, yeah.
Zoe, what'd you get since we last chatted?
505, join us and look at the album.
She's like, I'm going to record it. In case you guys wanted to visit, that's the alley that you go through to get into the building. It's a museum now. That way they can actually watch it. I'm not going to repeat this piece of history for them tonight. They're going to have to wait for the recording or watch the videos later. So they kind of get the point. If I'm not getting the answers out of the ladies, remember that they could come up on your word list, so you will be kind of like just whispering like what you're getting out of it. And Mark, same thing with yours. So kind of if you see a word, just tell me what you're getting. So here's how this goes. First time I came in here, I have no idea what the hell I was looking for. Right after Halloween of every year, it's when I start looking at new spaces. I only had 2 people. It was cold. Everybody canceled. You got the point. The young lady listening to the spirit box, I told her, just tell me whatever you hear. She heard the year 1828 and the name Henry. I was using the word list, and I had the name Tim on there. Behind me is a bust of Henry Timrod. He was born in 1828. It was a hot damn. There's my ghost, right?
Yeah.
Here's his story, very quick. He's born in 1828. He's sick through most of his life, and he's a writer, just like us. So, hence, where the connection from me. So, being born in that year, he's obviously old enough to go fight in the Civil War. He goes out to the battlefield to fight for the Confederate side. He goes out there, and his comrades realize he's too sick to fight. They sent him home, knowing he was a writer, and said, go be the voice of the war. So basically, go tell people what's going on out here. He came home and started writing poetry about what was happening on the battlefield. He became known as the Laureate of the Confederacy. So it's a pretty big title in the writing world, in case you're not familiar. Anyway, a couple years go by, and he has a son. His son's name is Willie, and he died on Christmas Eve. Or, I'm sorry, he was born on Christmas Eve, but he died 9 months later. So sorry, I was listening to the car, like what the hell kind of car was that? Got distracted. So obviously, I'm going to be asking about the child, because again, the birthday is very significant. Him and his wife Katie are mourning. Henry's not writing as much. Another friend of his, Paul Hamilton Haynes, says, dude, you're not writing as much. Go use my cottage in Columbia. That's the middle of our state. Get back on track, leave Katie behind so she can mourn with her parents that were here visiting. He goes out there, that's where he wrote his last words. His last words, beholder of brief mortality. Modern English, dear person with a short life. And then he coughed, and it landed on the page in a blood stain. He had tuberculosis. He died right there, age 38, pen in hand. Perfect way for a writer to go. I don't want to take it a step further. We're here because of the blood stain he left behind. It looks like a man writing at his desk. They show this book one day a year at the Charleston Library Society, and you have to be a member to be able to go see it. They only do it on Halloween. The internet's beautiful. I'm going to show you what the page looks like, and then we're going to hopefully go talk to Henry. By the way, the SLS camera, somebody brought one of the ones you see on TV to my tour because they wanted to test it out. We had a full 8-minute reaction from Henry. That's the reason why I even have that thing. I was fully convinced.
Oh my
When I
goodness.
say like 8-minute reaction, Henry, if it's okay to read your poetry, raise your hand. It was crazy. It was nuts. Like it went on for 8 minutes about us asking him things and him doing it.
Oh.
Here's your blood book. You guys might want to turn it around because I'm going to zoom in on it. Beholder, brief mortality, cough, cough, death. There is your blood stain. Again, we started off with a nice, easy football player. We're ending with a little bit of grossness, right? So, this experiment can work either way. Either they're going to give me really silly answers and it's going to be absolutely hysterical, or we're going to have a full-blown conversation going with Mr. Timrod. Keep in mind, I'm not going to remind them, but Dr. Ladd does like to come through here. He likes to sneak in. I never know who's actually going to pop in when I switch benches, because again, it's just kind of weird, because there's a lot of monuments in here. So we're going to see what actually happens when we get over there. So, let's go.
Wait, is that the RI guy? Wait.
No, this is Henry Timrod.
No, you said the doctor.
Oh, that's actually, RI was the friend of the doctor.
Okay, gotcha.
So yeah, good call.
I was just curious, yeah.
But that house he lived in, 59 Church Street, is literally right around the corner. It's like 0.3 miles from here. So again, we come nearby. It's not like he doesn't recognize my voice or face. It's not like he can't hear me right now. So that's kind of how I like to look at things. I don't scream at ghosts. There's no point. They can hear me anyway.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to give them a few tips and tricks when we get over there. So the two ladies that are going to be blindfolded, I'll need a family member nearby. So Mark, you're going to be one of those. If they're speaking too loud, you guys are going to tap them on the shoulder. They're going to know these things because I'm going to explain it to them. When we're done, because they can't hear me, you're going to tap them on the leg. I don't touch my guests, especially when they're female. I hope you guys appreciate that. But again, we do have neighbors. I try not to piss them off, so if they're a little too loud, you're just going to tap them on the shoulder. Hopefully they'll quiet down. Obviously, Trisha's going to be able to hear me, so she'll be able to follow my direction perfectly clear. She's just going to be clueless on why I'm asking the questions that I'm asking. Let's go talk to a ghost.
You want to do it? Okay. He said tap her if she's too loud on the leg or not enough to run. We don't talk about it.
I'm going to take the phone out of there while I set this up and give you guys a few tips and tricks.
Do I have a hole?
You should have a hole right there where your phone is. So, ladies that are going to be blindfolded and have your spirit boxes too loud so you're not going to be able to hear me, you need a few cues. If in the event that you're too loud, because you're going to be talking, telling us everything that you're hearing in real time, a family member will tap you on the shoulder. Quiet down a little bit. We have neighbors who don't present.
Lord, I'm used to
I'm going
this.
to tell you right now.
When we're done, they're going to tap you on the leg. Take off your own blindfolds, headset, everything that you're wearing. You're going to be able to hear me, so you'll be perfectly fine. So you're also going to be telling me everything you hear in real time. It includes yes and no answers because you don't know what I'm asking. I might ask a ghost if I'm wearing a black dress and expecting one of you to say yes. So again, everything you hear. Your pictures you're going to see. Have you ever done virtual reality before?
No.
Okay, so this is not like 3D in your face, Jurassic Park eating you alive kind of stuff. You're going to see a galaxy off in the distance, and then every once in a while an image will show up in front of that galaxy. I put the galaxy in there just so you guys don't fall asleep. Yeah, it's just kind of like a background. Now, the image that you see, be very brief with your description. 3 ladies bench tree. In the event that they're not speaking much, because you're going to be talking over them, I will ask you probing questions like, what's the time error? Give you extra clues about what's happening inside that picture. The picture may be weird. So, blindfolds first, ladies, and then your headphones go on, and you're going to crank it up loud enough where you can't hear me, and don't touch your volume. We want to make sure you're not cheating. And Trisha, all you're going to have to do is look straight at me. Once I get this guy set up for you, since you've never done this, I'll just slide it in. Your focus, in the event that it's blurry, is right here. So you can turn that dial, and you also have 2 little thumb pieces underneath. You'll be able to like push it outwards if it's still blurry.
Okay.
They made it nice and easy for you guys to. And I do keep you guys under for 10 minutes only. That's it. Zoe's already in. Zoe, can you hear me? Okay, it is 11:18. color is a blue banana? Awesome. They can't hear me. All right. So, Henry, let's start off nice and easy. Right here. You have a
A
rainbow.
lady, a fairy, black hair, yellow flowers, blue dress,
Okay.
purple wings, tree with red flowers above, red leaves.
Lots of flowers. Henry, we're looking for things wrapped around your occupation. That's what I'm looking for first. Just trying to break the ice here. I was expecting her to like be spouting off things like crazy. So we may have to remind her to tell us what she's hearing in real time. So just lift up one of her earmuffs there.
Make sure you're telling them here. Yeah, I was hearing like the
Okay. Henry, you can show us in the group as well. I know I have 3 ladies on the bench. I know that that's not always your preference. Go to communicate through. This is Susan and Zoe. They can hear whatever you want us to hear. Trisha can see whatever you want us to see. Anything cool? Henry, your occupation, please. Anything about your occupation? Well, let's experiment with the height and sense of here. That's the point. We may have to remind Susan to like tell us what she's hearing.
No. Okay.
Henry, I don't understand the fairy and rainbows that were shown to us earlier.
Challenge.
So I'm looking for things that is a part of the group over here. I know we're on a different bench. Brittany, how's our word list?
A heart, but
fact.
it's chemically correct heart.
Oh,
Fact inside roughly leaves.
Feeling.
does anybody know if the disease
13.
that I told you that he died from affects the heart?
19.
Cause heartstrings.
Again, the body's open.
Wow.
It appears maybe like lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Makes sense.
Life.
You okay in there? Did you drop it?
No.
Yes.
The lungs are though they're green and they're moving like
And then
breathing. It's gone.
Yeah, when it looks like the picture is moving, it's generating. It's like an AI image. It's generating. So when we get them out, they will be completely still.
Eventually.
Henry, thank you for showing us the picture of the lungs, and they were green. Is that right? Does that make sense? Anybody here working a medical?
Mucus. You have a nurse. Mucus.
Henry. Did Zoe fall asleep? I think she's out. I'm really surprised. Henry, do you want to talk about how you died? Why don't you tell us how old you were when you died?
Taxes.
Henry, how old were you when you passed away? Mark, is it 9 or 9?
9.
Did you say 9? That's how many months the sun was when he passed. He was 38. I like the 9 that came out of that. You want to talk about your son? Yeah, 9 too. Henry, do you want to tell us your son's birthday? I'll take the number. Or even the name of the holiday. Tell us Willie's birthday. When was he born? Find the positive things about your life.
24/7.
24, Christmas Eve. Thank you, Henry. Can you tell us what month he passed away, sadly? It's the month of October, in case anybody was wondering. Henry,
Quality.
when did Willie pass away?
He's off the bench.
Well, we're not gonna move him now in a minute.
I just heard like whistling noises.
Dr. Ladd. Doc, if you're here, you have a code word. Can you give us the code word? The code word is purple in case anybody sees it or they say it. That kind of lets me know that he's the one.
Joseph.
Dr. Joseph Brown, Ladd, whistling. You guys got this, right? Like, I'm actually, this is me excited, guys. Like, we don't always have a great success with this. Like, I'm actually really excited. Dr. Ladd, can you tell me your profession?
Whiskey.
You're not a drinker. Dr. Ladd, what was your profession? You can give us an image of it. Gentlemen, we are at 6 minutes. Dr. Ladd or Henry?
Charleston.
Yeah. Throw those away. They're listening to Charleston Radio.
Gone.
What did you get? DM. I got
DM.
PM.
Dog.
Wait on the dog. Expected that with Anne Bonner. Dr. Ladd, let's get back to you and your profession, please. Patricia would love to see another image instead of some Star Trek in there. Henry,
Airplane.
Henry, we're going to get back to you as well. If you want to tell us your son's birthday, you did that already. Tell us what month he passed away.
Storms.
A storm in your picture?
Lorraine. No, I have an airplane.
Did you say the rain?
Airplane.
I think she said the rain.
Zoe said the rain. Susan said storm.
Looking for a job.
I have an airplane still, and it's gone.
Dr. Ladd, we're asking what your job was.
Teacher.
No, we're asking what your job was in the past.
Dog.
Damn dog. Pardon my French, everybody, but this damn dog, I don't know what's going on here. Again, that shows up with Anne Bonny. Henry. So would like to know your occupation. Henry, Dr. Ladd.
103.
Down about a minute and a half.
Don't.
Don't what? I'm really surprised at that. I thought she was going to stop stuff off like crazy. Oh, nothing? You're fired. You're supposed to get your numbers over here.
Wait, it went to 213.
How much? 2.3. 2.3. Henry,
Vacation.
last chance. Show us an image, we'll go home. Tell us what your occupation was.
I'm sure.
Go home. Dr. Leonard, same deal. 4. Okay. 4.
40 seconds.
We have about 55 seconds when she said that. Just putting it out there.
It's a person, an older gentleman. He's at a
Somebody.
cemetery. He's looking at graves.
Music.
He has one of those old hats like Charlie Chaplin. I don't know what they're called.
Kirby.
Derby. It's just the back of
Maybe.
him though. He has sandy brown hair and a black jacket,
Okay.
but he's just staring at graves.
Can you put a time period on?
Not from the jacket.
I'll just point out that she said baby and music, and you have the word music at the alley as well. So what's going on with the music piece with Dr. Ladd? Is it because of the whistling? Because that would be considered.
I just
Or
want
is
like a
the
very loud scream. Something's a trap.
Trap he bounces around over the city. Dr. Ladd, twice.
Cole.
Cole? I got nothing. Let's go ahead and tap them out.
Friday.
Yeah, Trisha, peel that thing off your face. Let's take a look at the images that you guys have.
Cole.
Yeah, she's got your name. I would actually call that slightly successful. Just because we did get like that dark answer of the 24. Like I'm actually excited about that. Sorry ladies, but you're not going to know the history that I told them over there by the monument. You're going to have to wait for the video or the voice recording. So again, I'm just that guy. I'm a jerk like that. We have another image generating, so I don't want to stop it in the meantime in case anybody wants to see how that actually works. It just looks like a bunch of vegetables. And what she was seeing in there, that looks like some cloth.
Oh my gosh.
So we'll let it finish generating. And now it looks like a person holding their head.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, it should be in the database at this point. So let's kind of go through her pictures. Looks like she had a total of 5 at this point. First one, definitely a fairy. I'll kind of go around the room here. That's as big as I can make
Oh,
them.
that's awesome. Definitely
So,
fairy.
No relevance to me or anything that we talked about, just so you guys have the idea. And again, I run all of these through Google Lens just to kind of make sure. Obviously, it's going to tell me that it's a blueberry. So we'll see what else it comes up with.
Yeah.
Come on, next one. That is definitely a heart with some lungs wrapped around it. The person that we were hoping to make contact with, just so the 3 of you know, was a person who died of tuberculosis. So the lungs made sense. The green part of things, like that's a little too green. I'm sure. A little gangrene, right?
In the picture, they were like palpitating.
Yeah, because it's going to make it look like
Yeah.
it's moving, just like the other image was. But yeah, you weren't lying when it said that the flesh was pulled back, for sure. Wow, aeroplane, for sure. You can definitely see the proportion difference. They tried to cram everything into an image.
Yeah.
Airplanes don't really match up with the Civil War folks that we're looking to talk to, or Dr. Ladd, who's from the 1700s. So this has no relevance to me either. So, gentleman in the cemetery, she wasn't lying, derby hat.
Oh wow.
You're actually pretty good at this. Most people give me like, I see a squirrel looking at a stone, and then it's this. I'm like, really? Like that's what you got out of that? So
What did you do before you got here tonight?
I know, right? So I do like this, but again, I can't really verify anything because the age of the gentleman. Like I can zoom in on the gentleman, you can definitely see some age and wrinkles there. So it definitely doesn't match up with our 2 gents, the doc who died at the age of 22 and Henry who died at the age of 38. Just doesn't jive. And then of course our woman on watermelons holding her head.
Yeah.
That's what it looks like to me. So again, I wouldn't count any of these images super great, but you did get images. Some people wind up with 0. So you talked about repellents earlier. Those are my repellents. They get the 0s. So we had 5. That's actually a good number. It actually beats the average of 4. I'm still going to count like with what happened here. You surprised all of us because you really weren't saying much, which is we were expecting you to start spouting stuff off to Susan. So she was just like rattling stuff off like crazy. I'm like, thought this was going to be like a battle back and forth. But you gave us quite a few things that I was actually excited about. You gave us that whistling, and then you said something about looking for a job because I was asking the doctor about his job. Dr. Ladd, his house is right around the corner. He likes to creep in on this. So that's kind of why I forgot to remind you on purpose. So that way you weren't looking for those whistling parts since you already knew the history. But then we asked Henry about his son's birthday on Christmas Eve. You said 24/7.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm going to take it. There was something else that I said I was excited about. Anybody else remember what that was? Yeah. Oh, 9.
His name, Joseph.
9. We had a 9 show up in different variations. The son died after 9 months.
Joseph. Joseph Ladd.
Oh yeah, we had Joseph too. Yeah, very. So again, I love, like, this is what I call a semi-successful. So it's not like a full-blown, like, best one ever. But again, we did have a little bit of success here. So you guys got to watch it unfold. The word dog showed up out of both of you. That was weird. Like, you both said it, like, probably about a minute and a half away from each other.
Oh wow.
By the way, did that feel like 10 minutes on the blindfolds? How long did it feel?
I mean,
10
yeah.
minutes.
I'm like, what?
It was almost 11, to be honest with you. Like, I let it ride just because you guys were starting to
I had
talk.
no idea.
How did it feel on your end? You heard all the talking. So.
Yeah, well, no, it was still quick though. I was anxious to see the next, like I was like, oh, shoot, something else.
Some poor people don't see anything. They stare at space for 10 minutes. And I'm like, yep, nothing happened. Let's go home. Do you guys feel okay, by the way?
Yeah.
Because sometimes people get disoriented. I've actually had people go into seizures with this. I've had hyperventilation, which is why I don't write anything down. So I focus on, and Jeff's like, yeah, now you tell us you just put my daughter on the but yeah, that's why I don't write anything down, so I can keep an eye on everybody's breathing, everybody did fine. If you feel okay, I'm going to have you guys get up so I can set my bag down. And I'll start collecting all of your gear. You guys can ask me more questions. But I'm going to stop your regular audio. You guys can leave your wrappers with me.